The haunting hour is at hand. Ghostly hauntings since time began. Raw side paranormal seeks the truth, looking for some kind of real proof. Creepy floorboards and eerie dark mist. Grab your camera and document this. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. A slamming door causes a fright. A shadowed hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the wrong side. A slamming door causes a fright. A shadowed hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. The icy air touches your neck. You feel like screaming, but you stay in check. Orbs rising up to take the magical flight. You can't believe what's happening tonight. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Raw Side. I'm glad everybody could pop in and join us. Let's see who. Hey, hi, Julie R. How are you doing, darling? I know we got a private chat. I don't know what happened. Okay. It was from. Okay. I think everybody is on board, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Hopefully everybody will pop in. My notice didn't go up till late, so I don't know what the heck was up with that crap, but you know how it works. YouTube and Facebook just don't work well. So I'd like you to put your hands together and help me in welcoming the Wolf Pack. Hi, guys. How are you? And welcome.
Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, holding on the best I can. Oh, thank you, Julie.
That's pretty much the best we can do.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, the other two guys, I broke my toe this morning. So I'm sitting here with an ice pack on my foot.
I told her to stop dancing on those tables, but you know, girls gotta make money, right?
That's right. Got to make some money somehow. And I slammed it into a fire safe.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Oh
man,
don't do that.
There was a few F-bombs flying this morning, so
Laura, in case you feel like doing that again, just remember it hurts.
Yeah. Oh, I'll keep that in there. You know, have it, yeah, catalog there in the memory banks because oh my, I mean, I was hopping around pretty good, and my dog's like,
I can imagine.
Yeah, holy crap! So now it's a pretty shade of black and blue, and
oh yeah, they usually do turn a nice shade of black and blue or purple.
Oh yeah, so
perfect for this type of broadcast.
Yeah, you are seriously going to have a nice little rainbow going on your foot for a while.
Yeah, I got a good theme going, so yeah, I got to keep it going. So you guys are based in Canada, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
That is correct. Sorry, I'm just trying to change my volume going on here. There we go.
Okay, I'm not too loud, am I, guys?
No, not at all. We're pretty widespread GTA. We're all from different parts.
Oh, okay. So then you get all together, and that's what forms the Wolf Pack. How did you guys become the Wolf Pack?
You're going to turn that to me, aren't you, Adrian?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he pointed up. Hi, Spook Fest. Welcome.
Okay, so about 2.5 years ago, I guess, me and Adrian were talking, shooting the breeze, and we both discovered we're pretty into this. So then, actually, 2 years, 1 month now, just passed. He picked me up, said we're going for a drive. So we did, and we ended up at Century Manor in Hamilton, which is an abandoned insane asylum, which he knew I always wanted to go to. And, we walked around, we did a little investigation there with just our phones. And on the way home, we started discussing. We're like, maybe we can make money out of this. And bam.
Okay. And there it is.
Started
The
with
rest
me and
is
Adrian.
history.
Yeah, with some members that have come and gone. Yeah.
Yeah, usually that's how that works. You've got people that'll filter in and filter out because they find out that it's not for them, or they rather do stuff on their own. I mean,
Or whatever.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Or
Or yeah, you
rules.
guys just don't mesh. Hi, Dave. Welcome. So yeah, because everybody goes through it. My team is family members, so it's a little more easier that way.
Well, yeah, you're
not always.
Yeah, I guess it depends, but yeah, my sister, my brother-in-law, and me, we do it. I do a lot of stuff solo because of their work schedules. But then when I go solo, my husband's with me, so I don't have to worry about the weirdo factor or me falling down or
the
smashing
weirdo
my toe
factor
on
is
a
always
stone.
one you have to keep in play.
There.
Absolutely.
So, and I do, mostly now cemetery investigations. It's just
We know
I think
those all too well.
less hassle. When you do residential, there's issues and it's a long-term commitment. Do you guys do a residential, or are you just strictly abandoned and cemetery?
That's that. Boy, that's a heated issue among us.
That's a bit of a point of contention.
We will do residential, but we do not post the video.
Right. I totally agree with that. That's a private matter between
But
you and
we
the
will
homeowner.
we will do videos reviewing the evidence we got without disclosing the location.
Right. And what is your procedure when you're doing a residential?
Oh, Adrian?
Adrian's pointing at Jeffrey.
We basically, it's not much different than when we do an actual, like an abandoned place. We scatter around, like depending on, which areas have the most activity, we scatter around to try to see what we can get. And basically the same as what we do in abandoned place, we just scatter around. Basically, we speak to the owner to to get information on exactly what they've been noticing or where they've been seeing the activity, and then we go from there.
As far as like with the owners or anything, do you recommend them filling out any kind of paperwork to prove or disprove if maybe they have some kind of mental illness or some kind of addiction issue that they may think that they have something going on, but they really don't?
The residentials we have done, one was vacant. The other one is an acquaintance of mine and actually of Jeffrey's. So we already knew the owner, but we don't do paperwork. But if we feel that they weren't being truthful, we reveal that in the review video. Yeah.
What is do you give it a long-term commitment when you do a residential, or is it just one and done? And
it's mostly one and done. Really go ahead, Adrian.
I'm just saying, it really all kind of depends on what's going on there. I mean, we generally don't do residential just based on. There's a lot of other factors with that as well that can Like,
But we can
the
kind
owner,
of, I mean, when we kind of enter a place, when we kind of enter like a residential place, we can kind of we get to see the area around and get to see if it's something like even if they don't fill out paperwork, we can kind of tell if there could be something going on. Like the last place that we went to, they had a lot of artifacts that symbolized the paranormal and things that were just, you know, a bunch of Ouija boards that he had, and one didn't even have a yes or a goodbye, or you know. So it was like one of those things where, okay, maybe something is really going on. That's what would make us go further and investigate. So it's one of those
Um,
But
things.
ultimately, it comes down to whether or not they let us know there's been more activity since we've been there.
right. And then you would just go back if needed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which we haven't come across that yet. So
Okay, now Jeffrey was mentioning artifacts. Do you believe that spirits can inhabit inanimate objects and haunt a home that way, or do you think it's all just bunk? Because there's a
Absolutely.
lot of people that don't believe in attachments.
absolutely,
Each
I
group is
believe it.
different.
And
Okay.
so it's very very much possible because I mean I've heard situations where people have had an item that actually some, you know, an entity has actually attached itself to, and it's one of those things that it's very difficult to get rid of right away. It's, you know, it's usually a long process, and a lot of these artifacts that I don't remember exactly what the artifacts were, but there was a lot of things that we saw in the place that we
Adrian,
had an idea.
you remember a
I
lot
think
of them.
Adrian may remember what exactly it was, but
let's see, there's an old Egyptian cat with a bunch of hieroglyphics on it
Oh,
that
fantastic! Hi, Chilzal. Welcome.
that came
Hi, Faith.
directly from Egypt years and years ago. It was one that he had actually picked up from somebody else. There was also a statue of Anubis that was a little bit broken, but it it also came from Egypt. There were a lot of the things that he had in his house were Egyptian based.
Okay,
And
is it,
then
was it
there
things that he just picked up along the way, or
some of them were things he had picked up along the way. Some he had actually picked up over in Egypt himself.
oh, fantastic!
The
Um,
Ouija board that had no goodbye was actually given to him by
that was
supposedly
yeah,
a psychic, which
that
is
was
kind of weird.
actually yeah. He had said that one was given to him by a psychic medium, but I don't know any Ouija board that has no goodbye because
I've never seen
you
that.
can't close things at that point.
Yeah,
Seems
yeah.
a
Well,
little
yeah.
odd.
You'd say homemade ones, maybe, but yeah, if it was purchased already made, yeah, that's kind of odd. Hi, Friday. Welcome.
Yeah, it was
Um.
actually built into like a little
It was
table.
built into a table.
So
Oh, okay.
for it not to have a goodbye is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah,
that
because
would
then you're leaving a
explain
circle
what
open.
we captured. So
Um. Okay. Well, then, okay. Give us a little bit more info. What did you capture, or you can't share that?
no, we can share that, just not the location or the owner's name.
Right. Right.
Um,
No, I.
we went we suspected there was an issue with our dead bell. Correct, Jeffrey?
yeah.
Well, why don't you tell that part, Jeffrey? Because you dealt with the bell more than
So
me.
it's a recent actually piece of equipment that Ghost Stop released. It's a dead belt. Basically sits on a wooden platform, and it basically determines there's like the old fashioned, you know, someone can tap the bell, or
The school bell.
it
Yep.
act it activates by temperature. Like if you know the EM, it would basically just start triggering if something goes near it. Basically it started going really crazy. Like it started, like we would turn it on, and usually when we turn it on, it's supposed to ring a bit, like do like a low ringing to just kind of reset itself and kind of get used to the environment. And it would constantly do that for
Oh
it
God,
would
it was
just
like
do it
20 minutes.
constantly. Yeah, 20 minutes without stopping. And then one point it actually escalated really loudly without us touching it. So we didn't know exactly what was going on, and I can't say that it was a malfunction because it was we just we didn't purchase it not too long after before that investigation, and it just started going all crazy. I actually did bring it in for repair, brought it back, and it seems to be working fine. But it's just one of those things where,
you're missing a part, Jeffrey. Where for about 5 minutes it actually worked normally out of the blue,
no, it did.
and then
It
went
worked
back
for
to
5 minutes.
ding 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 ding.
Yeah, basically.
It's
just,
interesting.
But
So,
we
and then
also, and this is posted on our social media, is it not, Adrian? The picture of the faces in the mirror.
I believe it is, but I will have to double check on that. I think it's on the Instagram.
We actually captured in the mirror a face peeking around the corner that was in no picture before or after.
And there was one underneath, wasn't there two?
At one point there was two, yeah. At one point there was 2.5, all with glowing eyes. We had a blind fall for no reason. Yeah, just it was weird. It was strange.
Very interesting. Now, what equipment do you use on an investigation?
My special
Jeffrey?
So I'm the
Back to
equipment.
Jeffrey.
I'm the equipment
He's our
person, as
equipment
they
guy.
call it. So I basically my role in the Wolfpack is I basically learn all the functions of the equipment, figure out what could be potentially wrong with it if it's not working properly, and I kind of give everybody in the group what equipment they want to use, because we try to scatter it based on where we're going, and we give each other a piece of it. We try to let everybody use a piece, like a different piece of equipment every time. I do use ours, my absolute favorite, the Ovilus. I absolutely love that thing. It's just
Yeah, we know, baby T.
it's one of those things. Those things where we literally just every investigation, it was just one of those things that it's a must have, because it really helps the investigation. We have tons of EMF devices. We've got the dead bell. We've got a prism, which is like a yes and no prism that lights up red for no, green for yes.
Two.
We also have two. Yes, we have two of those. We also have an Envoy, which is like a digital version of a Ouija board, and there's 5 functions, and it's activated through tap. The first function is just like letters, and then as it's moving, it taps on the letter to actually create the word that it wants to say. The second function would be like a yes and no function as well. Third function is emotions. So if are you feeling happy, sad, angry, and it will actually tap on the emotion. There's also a number feature, so we could say, how old are you? How old are you? It'll tap on that number. And then the last function was just temperature readings. We also have a bunch of flashlights. We've got the twistable flashlights. We've got UV flashlights just in case. We have the Boo Buddy Bear, which is it acts as a REM pod and basically asks questions, and we put a voice recorder beside it and basically helps out, with anything trying to communicate with it. It usually is supposed to be activated more towards children. So that's when, any investigation that we do that involve there may be children, that's a piece of equipment that's a must use. And then we also have the casket box, which is I think James's favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just the sound that it makes, a very creepy noise.
It's my personal favorite, but it works better with Adrian.
Yeah.
So it likes him better.
Oh,
Yeah,
it loves
it
Adrian.
seems to respond better with me. I don't know why.
It loves you.
It's the vibe you're setting off.
Yeah.
It really is.
We have a bunch of
Yeah.
REM pods, and then additional things like we always make sure that we have tons of batteries equipped. We make sure we come prepared. We make sure everything is charged and ready to go.
We have what, four voice recorders, I believe.
Yeah.
We also, what else do we have? We have, oh God, we pretty much have everything, including a remote control car for spaces we cannot get into.
Okay. Wow. So you guys are loaded for bear.
We are. As well as a drone as well to get the overhead.
Oh yes, we have a drone as well.
Wonderful.
I forgot about the drone.
Seeing that Jeffrey is the equipment guy, my next question would be, Have you done any extensive testing on any of this equipment just to debunk a lot of the things that you might think that these things are picking up? Because the debate is in the community, most of the equipment is BS and others love it. So,
So it's one of those
Well,
things. Well, for when we use the equipment, I mean, I don't necessarily. I mean, I test it in the way where, if like I've tried setting up equipment just anywhere and just keeping it there, and it wouldn't activate. Like nothing would trigger. So I know for a fact that if it was debunked, it would just activate randomly no matter where it is. But every time we've gone to locations and I've asked questions, it actually would activate. Not every time, but because again,
right.
it just depends on if they want to communicate or not. I mean, I've had the most piece of equipment that I think I've had the most success on is the Prism, because it's one of the most simple. I think it's just a very simple piece of equipment that they can communicate with. It's basically one side, if it's yes, they just go near it and it turns green. The other side is red for no, and it's one of those things where I've gotten actually quite a bit of evidence on that just by asking questions.
so
But there have been times.
we'll come back to that, Laura. I just want to answer Friday House questions. No, we do not, but we will be getting a old-fashioned tape recorder along with a Polaroid camera.
Wonderful.
To get back to that story, Adrian, you might want to speak about the house we went to, where we actually tested with the radios and the REM pod.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Because I think that would
yeah,
sum up
that
this
was
question.
that was weird. Um, so when we first were using the REM pods and the radios, we didn't get any response between the two. Like there was no feedback, no setting off of the REM pods at that point. However, when we went back a second time, because we had to go back a second time, James,
We'll get into that.
when we went back the second time, I could be 50 feet off the REM pod, just hit the button on the radio, and the REM pod would go off. So I really can't explain that. I don't know whether or not, and I mean, it was the same place each time. So it could just be, it could have been a malfunction or it could have been something totally different. I don't have enough to actually specify one way or the other.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Sidbrook, right?
Yes.
No, I was talking about the house that we went to down in the basement when we actually tested it with the radios.
Okay, you can speak to that one then.
Like we do in one spot, we could be like 8 feet away and it would go off. The radio would set it off. Another time we were like right beside it and it didn't set it off. So right now I would classify it as undetermined. But
When you
Jeffrey
go to a
does do
location,
Jeffrey
go ahead.
does do constant equipment checks and
And
cleaning.
testing. Well, yeah, that's because that's my belief. The education is important, and you just got to test the crap out of that stuff because you never know
Oh, he does.
what's
He
going to
does.
set it off.
We
So
also
that's what's going on now. If you've ever seen any of the other programs, the community is actually really doing some really serious scientific testing on all of this stuff because it'd be great if this really actually is working for what we need it for. But a lot of it they're finding out is just set off by just everyday stuff and occurrences. So yeah, I always encourage everybody just to really use it as with your experiment, but test the living crap out of it with everything.
we have come to trying to, because I think, the other two gentlemen there will agree. When we watch the shows about this stuff or videos about this stuff, we're like, that could be this, that could be that. So we've come to actually trying to debunk if there's any other possibility before we make a decision.
Great, yeah. Actually, when you do go to an investigation, do you usually do a walkthrough first before you start filming and check? Because like I only use my EFF, the K2, only for the just to check to see if we have any live, electrical anywhere in the building or around the building, and
Yeah,
then
we check
usually
for
it goes
safety.
back in the bag.
Yeah, we do walkthroughs for safety to make sure, like if it's a place that's not monitored, we want to make sure that there's no squatters.
We
We
we always do a walkthrough, but it's always recorded. We start as soon as
Right.
we get out of the vehicle. For
So
our
yeah,
own
so
purposes.
you're checking everything out, so you do, yes, you're documenting all of that information, which is
Yep.
great. I love it because it really, just I get disturbed when I see people just, oh well, this is going on and that's going on, but they weren't there earlier just to check. Even though the place might be abandoned, there's still be some kind of current running through the building or somewhere around the area. So of course, that's going to set things off.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you guys are doing that. You're checking that before you're doing your official investigation, so then you could determine if it's either an outside source or actually something's going on.
Absolutely, but what people need to understand is the most important equipment is yourself.
There you go. Love it. Love it when everybody says that. When I go, I have a camera and a digital recorder, guys. That's pretty much, it's just old school, and that's it. So if I can't pick it up on that, all the bells and whistles aren't going to help me.
And speaking of old school, we're actually going to start getting into doing more of those.
Yeah. I find myself personally that I pick up more with just a digital recorder and a camera than I would with anything else. I mean, I don't have all the fancy stuff like you guys have, but when I started this over 20 years ago, all I had was a Polaroid and a cassette recorder, a Walkman recorder. So, I mean,
And
that's how I started. And
from what I see, that gets a lot of evidence.
Yeah. To this day, I still works the best for me personally. So yeah. My next question is, have you guys each had your own personal experiences in the
Oh God.
that would feed, the feeder to find out the truth? Jeffrey.
Okay, so I know Jeffrey's got to go
I have to
soon,
go
so
shortly, so I can quickly bring up
do your story, Jeff.
So my story started when I was actually I was about 9 years old. I was actually in grade 4. I was living at a not the house currently, at another house, and it was around Christmas time, and we had a Santa Claus and a Mrs. Santa Claus figurine that would basically move their arms, and there was like a function for music and then one for just
Which is
moving the
creepy
arms.
enough.
And basically, one just out of the blue. I mean, we didn't even have anything. We didn't even notice anything oddly that day or before that. It was just, that's why we really don't know what happened. But we went upstairs, and as we were sleeping, I heard music playing, and I didn't know where it was coming from, and it sounded familiar. So when I went downstairs, it was actually the figurines that were playing, but the buttons were off.
Sorry about the dog.
That's okay. The button was
Oh,
off.
good. Mine's inside because he'd be right in front of the cameras.
Yeah, she's barking at somebody.
So the button was off, and we didn't know how it act, like what happened. We thought maybe it was just a malfunction. We didn't think anything of it. So
Right.
I turned it on. The thing is, I actually turned it on. Like I actually switched it on, and it's like it stopped. But once I turned it back off again, it was fine. We went back upstairs, and then an hour later we heard it again. And this time it was still on off, but this time the arms were moving, but the light wasn't on. Like, because the Santa Claus, they hold, like, it's like a candle, like a light candle, and the light candle was off when it's supposed to be on, and they were moving the arms. So we were very confused on what, and I can't just say it was a malfunction, because it's not supposed to play, and we even removed the batteries as well after the second time, and then it started playing again.
Well, there you go.
There was a very weird, and again, it's one of those things where we don't know. There was no history about the place. We tried searching up things. We didn't find anything. I don't know if it was something that just was walking by and it just happened to target our home. I don't know. It was a very
try maybe searching up the land, though, Jeff. It might not be the
It could have
house, it might
been,
be the
but
land.
Right.
and then the same thing happened with our Christmas tree. The very second night, the Christmas tree, we came home and it was dark out and the lights were on, but it was unplugged, and we didn't know what had happened. And then we just got really freaked out. We actually had someone bless the home, and it never happened again. So we don't know exactly what happened or who went through. I mean, I was hearing noises throughout those couple of days, like a minor footsteps, but I just didn't know what it was. But it was just a very weird experience. It was one of those things where, like, usually when something happens, you have a history of it, like, progressing into that, like you notice things from
Correct.
before. But it was just kind of like
Right.
full on, just like it was just a random occurrence, and it was just, yeah, it was just very weird. I don't know how to explain it, but you know, that was basically my story.
There you go. Okay. What about the other two? You guys have any stories or?
But I do have to go, guys. I'm really sorry.
Okay. Thank you
It's
so
time.
much
All
for
right,
joining.
Jeff.
That's
No
okay. We
problem.
get it.
Okay.
Thank you
All
for
right,
Thanks,
Jeff.
joining
thanks for
us.
coming,
Talk
buddy.
later.
Bye. Bye.
All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Jeff.
Oops. There we go. Okay.
Wait, where'd I
So
go?
you're
There
there.
I
I see you. There you are. Oh, you pointing to me? Oh, for me, you're like down here. Down there.
am.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
That
I
work?
have so many. On my screen, you're pointing to her.
Right.
Okay, fine. I'll do it this way.
I have several stories, but I want your story.
So it would have started when I was 11. My grandfather had just passed about a week before. And I was in my room playing, and we had one of those touch lamps that go through the 3 different stages of brightness.
Yeah.
So it went low, medium, high, off, low, medium, high, off. So I'm 11. I'm a little freaked out because I don't know what's going on. So I run out and get my mom. We go in, and it's not even plugged in. Yeah.
And that was it. All right.
And
Well, yeah.
just since then, it seems like every friend or family member that has passed, I've gotten some type of sign, whether it be flickering lights, an orb around my Christmas tree, taps, knocks, sounds, my name being called, footsteps, shadow people. It's just been constant, and I've lost like 21 friends and family since 2000. So I've been dealing with this for like 35 years.
Bit of everything. So yeah,
A little bit of everything. Mine's more physical and visual, where this gentleman down here is more I don't know, what would you say, spiritual, Adrian?
Mine's more auditory and just bizarre. So in my case, when I was younger, I was having a lot of like just your little premonition type things, like nothing huge, but it was really kind of weird because I had no idea, and then all of a sudden I would get that it would happen, and then I'd get that weird feeling of deja vu right after. But I mean, I'd have to say the weirdest one was when I was about 16. I found out that the previous owner of where I lived had a heart attack in the house and passed away. I was home alone. There's nobody else in the place at all, and I hear a door close upstairs. So I walk over to the bottom of the stairs, and there's a full-bodied apparition standing at the top of the stairs.
Wow.
That then just went right through the doorway, and that was the end of that. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Hi, Tom. Welcome. Yeah. Wow. Those are interesting stories. And
What
as
was your
far
first,
as
Laura?
mine, I was 8 years old, and I was spending a summer weekend in a castle that my aunt was the caretaker of, and of course, 8 years old, I didn't know anything about the place. It was just cool. Oh, my aunt's in a castle. So, all us kids used to go there and stay. And I was sleeping, and I was sharing a room with my cousins, and I was asleep, but something woke me up, and I could hear footsteps coming down the hallway, and then like the chattling, you hear rattling of the chain metal sound. And I'm thinking, what the heck is that? And so I get up and open the door, stick my head out in the hall, and call for my aunt and my grandmother, and nobody would said anything, but you could hear the footsteps coming closer. So, being a kid, I just closed the door and tried to wake up my cousins. Nobody would wake up. So, I'm thinking, oh God, what am I going to do? So I just jump in bed, cover up my head. And then you hear the footsteps coming right to the door. And that pretty much was it. So then when I told my aunt about it in the morning, she started laughing and told me the story behind the castle and the owners. And what it was is her main house was in New York City. She wanted to be buried in the crypt in the basement of the building. They didn't do it. They buried her in New York City. So it was written down and documented that she was the poltergeist or the spirit of the castle because she was angry. Also, my father dropped me off. He had bought a brand new video camera that, they just come out with these smaller video cameras. And he was filming all outside. Everything was beautiful. Everything on the inside was total black. The camera did not record anything on the inside. So that's pretty much what got the ball rolling for me in the paranormal.
That's
because
impressive.
I wanted to know what the hell that was.
Well, I mean, one of the situations that we ran into at a location, and we've never had this problem happen before, was 2 of our body cams worked absolutely fine. And then mine only recorded for 5 seconds at a time.
Right.
But it had been running, but I only had 2 5-second clips. So I don't know why. I don't know. It, as I say, it had never happened before.
Right.
The other two worked absolutely fine. So I don't really know what happened with that. I mean, it's hard to say what it really was, because I mean, we had activity there most of the night as it was.
Right.
And one of the situations was the fact that our because we were actually investigating with Kings and Queens that night out of Indiana, but we were in Illinois at Ashmore when we did this one. And their stationary cameras, we had some issues with those as well, which they had never run into before either.
Right.
Hey, Dom.
It's a sweetheart.
No, Dom's awesome. Dom is fantastic.
Yes, he is, and so smart. So yeah, if I ever have questions, I ask Dom. So
he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. He's actually the one who designed the logo that we use right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great.
I mean, he does that for multiple groups. I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, he's extremely talented. I can't even take that away at all.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's done stuff for me too. Wonderful.
Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic. I still need to get out to Montreal to get in on one of his tours.
Editing for his new channel.
Gotcha. But
so we'll just keep talking about you. That's all.
Yeah. So Laura, you'll notice I've been kind of quiet through most of this, and that is honestly because I do pretty much all the social media for the group. So my voice is out there anyway.
Right.
So I want both James and Jeffrey to have their voices heard and everything else as much as possible as well. So it's one of those things where I try to stay quieter so that they can handle most of the questions when it comes to that, just because I'm all over Facebook as it is. So.
Oh, no, I understand. But yeah, I also want your input as well. Because like I said, it's the first time I've seen James. I've seen Jeffrey before on one of your lives.
Yep.
The one you had on the other night, I was having issues with that one. I couldn't get to where I could get to the chat. So I don't know what was going on
Okay,
with that.
so that was the Wolf Royalty one that you were trying to get into.
Right.
That
Right.
okay, yeah, and that's our that is the international partnership that we have formed with Kings and Queens. So to explain that, Wolfpack does our investigations. Kings and Queens does their own, but when we come together, we're under a totally new banner of Wolf Royalty. So
Right. Hi, Para Lounge or Para Beat Lounge. I'm sorry.
yeah, we do have an investigation as Wolf Royalty coming up at the end of this month.
Okay. Is it you local in your area, or is it going to be? Is it across the pond? How did you guys get together for this?
No, it is in Blackford County. It's Blackford County Jail in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
So that was one that David was able to secure for us with that for the group, and then basically let us know when he was able to book it for. However, we did run into a bit of a problem, and I will apologize again to Soul Seekers. I'm sorry, but we had to reschedule a collaboration with them because of the scheduling mess up with that.
Right.
So we will get with them as well. They're also a very wonderful pair as well. That's oh god, hold on. Tanya and Amy. Oh my god, my brain is fried.
It's all right.
Yeah, so Tanya and Amy are out of Nova Scotia, Canada as well. So they're a fantastic group as well. So they are actually doing. There's actually going to be a lot of groups that are doing things on the 28th of September because I believe it is actually Paranormal Investigation Day. So, so most groups will be out doing something.
Right. So that's interesting. Paranormal Investigation Day. It's the first time I've heard of that. So you guys mark your calendars.
I believe it's something like that. It's
Right.
something along those lines. So, I mean, we've also kind of joined forces as Wolf Royalty with Ghost Whispers and Elite Vixen to create the Royal Wolf Whispers, which is a group where everybody can come in and share their evidence, make respectful comments. Need to make
And
sure.
So
this is
apparently, Paranormal International Day.
National Day. All right.
Okay, sorry. I knew it was something paranormal. Something.
There you go. So there you go. You guys got to mark your calendars. Oh, and Friday wants to know what was the date again?
September 28th.
28th there, Friday.
Friday's
So
got a
mark
lot of
that in
questions.
your calendar.
That's okay. You know what? I like the questions because
Absolutely.
Yes, I will ask people in the chat to ask you guys questions, but we,
hey,
we do
that is absolutely fine. So,
yep.
We don't mind
28th.
Q&A.
So that's how we all learn, and that's what this, the whole show is about. Is I always want to get the educational aspect of everything. Everybody might not agree with what you say or I say, but I mean that's how we find things out.
Everybody's got an opinion, right?
Yeah, that's right, and we all
opinions
that's how we learn.
never mind. I'm not going to finish.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that one. You're right.
Don't say it.
I held back. All right, I held back.
I know where you were going to go with that, Adrian. Keep it clean.
Everybody knows where I'm going with that one. Come on.
Well, who knows? Maybe it's a Canadian thing.
No, everybody says that pretty much.
No, that's pretty much an international thing.
Okay.
Michael, welcome. It's okay. You're not late. We're still rolling. All right. Well, as far as your investigations, do you have a favorite investigation?
James?
Adrian? I think it's a good point to me.
I've got this
Um,
here.
uh, I'm split between. Well, God.
Good luck, my friend. There's too many of your split
I,
between.
yeah, mine's really split between three. Century Manor in Hamilton will always have a special place in my heart, just because that was where it all began, and the fact that we've been there 4 or 5 times. Um, we just finished doing Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois, which has always been, I think, on all three of our kind of paranormal bucket lists. And for a completely different reason, which I'm sure Adrian will make me talk about later, Sid Brook. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not making you talk about anything, sir.
You always bring it up,
If you
though.
would like to discuss why, you go right ahead.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
up to Laura, I
I'm
guess.
sure people are curious as to
Yeah,
why.
why would they be one of your favorites?
There we go.
Oddly enough, because I got a demonic attachment.
Okay.
Yeah. Worst week of my entire life. Um, I felt fine when we left the location. I felt fine that night back at Adrian's, because we usually start reviewing the audio part of it on the way back and at Adrian's. And then the next day, I accused my partner at the time of cheating on me. I really was not nice to Adrian, who I've known for 27 years,
No,
and
you were a dick.
jeopardized. I was an asshole. I don't know if I can say that on the air, but I was an asshole. Yeah, snapping at everybody at work. Found myself in the kitchen staring at a butcher knife for 5 minutes. Standing on a subway platform, wondering if I jumped in front, could I survive? Yeah, it wasn't a very pleasant week, but in my opinion, everyone kind of needs to feel everything and experience everything as far as in the paranormal world to actually know what you're dealing with. And that makes it one of my favorites. Luckily, we went back exactly 1 week later and I was able to get it off of me, I think.
Possibly. We don't know. It could be lying dormant.
Well, yeah. These things can lie dormant for a couple years. So we'll see. But I feel pretty good.
Well, that's good. That's a good side.
Yeah.
Adrian, what is your favorite, Adrian? Or do you have a favorite?
It is Ashmore.
Ashmore, okay.
It is Ashmore because they're. I mean, it's the only place that I've left with more questions than answers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because there were things that happened there that we are going to go back to.
We have to.
Sure that we have to, because I mean there are things that happen there which unfortunately, because everything is not out there right now, I can't really disclose. We're working on
You'll
that
see it
still.
on the video.
Yeah. The one thing that I can say is that because we have released this, is when we were there, James was down in the boiler room on a solo, so there's nobody else in the building at all. And he asked that, can you make a sound if you're here? And I mean, it is documented that there is a whistler there, so somebody who whistles. He didn't hear like that.
Yeah.
That's
Clear as a
exactly
bell.
that's what we heard. Clear as a bell.
Followed by an orb going into my back. Yeah.
Hi, Wayne. Welcome. Is there a place that you have investigated that is pretty much scared the shit out of you and you'll never go back again?
Not yet.
Never go back again? No. Scared the shit out of us? Yes. Warner Cemetery.
Yeah,
And
that
what
one's
was the
weird.
experience?
That one's weird.
Oh boy. So, oh God. Ultimately, it came down to I was using a SOS and captured a figure actually entering Adrian's car, which then produced a whole different issue with a light that shouldn't have been in his car showing up, but also getting the words on the obelisk of, what was it? Run.
One was gun, shot.
Run.
We got gun, and then we got shot, and then we got run. In that
Yeah.
order, right one after the other.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
But the other weird thing that happened on the way home is I have completely disconnected Bixby from my phone because it drives me insane. So we ended up, myself and one of the other investigators that we were with at that time, we ended up having to leave the car due to issues that she was having at the time. So while we were out of the car, my Bixby went off.
Sorry, I do not understand. Can you repeat? Nobody
Yeah.
asked it anyway.
Nobody said
Okay.
anything, and I've disconnected that. So it shouldn't have even gone off at all.
Right.
But
So, yeah,
hi,
well,
Ken.
I mean-
Hi, Carla.
It did scare the shit of us, but we'll be back. Well, we have
Okay,
been
not
back,
enough
right?
to scare you away.
we have been back since then.
We have been back, and we'll probably go back again.
Now, I mean, I can tell you one that scared the shit out of other people.
Let us have it.
Okay, so
Which one are you
Actually-
talking about? The tunnel or?
the tunnel. So
Go ahead.
we were
Intriguing.
actually in the process of. So generally, when we go down to that area, because it's a bit of a drive, we try to hit at least 2 places while we're down there.
Right.
So at that point, we had decided to do Warner Cemetery and then hit Screaming Tunnel, which is another one that has a legend attached to it as well. We honestly haven't gotten anything there ourselves.
Right.
We've been there twice.
We've been there twice, have not gotten anything there at all, other than the fact that the EMF went off on James
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
and also on a brick wall. So, but that night when we got there, there was a car of probably teenagers, maybe early 20s.
No, I would say teenagers for sure.
Well, either way. But so they had pulled up as we were unloading some of the stuff we were going to use while we were in there. And they're like, "Oh, are you guys going in?" I'm like, "Yeah, you guys want to come, go ahead. Like, it's fine." Because, I mean, other people can experience things that we don't. So, and,
Right.
I mean, the more possible evidence that we have, the better to go through. Except when you're actually going through the evidence, and then it takes even longer. But with that being said, we started going in. We were about halfway into the tunnel. They wouldn't come in. They would not come into the tunnel at all. I think one of them took like 3 steps in, and that was about it.
About that.
And then they took off back to their car, and they drove off. And the Ovilus at that point spit out one word: bitches.
Bitch. That's what you were being called?
That's what they
Yeah.
were being called. I'm just like, really?
Sure, it's fitting.
They're not wrong.
No, absolutely. No.
What is the history behind the tunnel?
So the history behind that tunnel, it was an old railway tunnel. And from what I understand, I may not have it accurate because it's been a while since I've looked at it, because we haven't gone back for quite a while.
Oh God, well, at least a year.
Yeah. So I haven't looked at it recently, but apparently there's something to do with if you light a match at midnight, you'll hear a girl scream. Because apparently there's a girl who got hit by the train at midnight.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've heard this story.
Yeah.
And then the match gets blown out.
And then the match gets blown
Yes.
out. We have not had that problem. You're watching from the graveyard, Ken. That is awesome.
Wow. Ken, way to go, buddy.
Tell them we said hi.
Ask them if they want us to come.
But I mean,
He's
as I
new
say, like
here.
we didn't get anything from there ourselves, but
Ooh,
like we
Canadian
didn't
flag.
have that. I mean, and we brought the matches. We struck a match at midnight exactly, and it just burned how it would normally burn. No scream, no nothing.
Yeah.
But can I say that it doesn't happen? No. I can just say that it didn't happen for us.
Right.
Correct.
So, well, yeah, because no matter who goes to what location, if you've had 10 or 12 different groups go in there, everybody's gonna have their own
Julie,
experience.
as I say, it's quite possible that I may have gotten some details messed up because of the fact that it's been a while since I've looked at that one. But
Unfortunately, places like that, if you look at two different sites, you're going to get two different answers.
Right. Well, yeah, well, it's any kind of folklore, that changes with each person.
Oh, yeah,
That
for
tells
sure.
the story.
exactly, and because it's more of a folklore thing for that one, from what I understand, like I haven't found anything that's solid. It's basically just folklore on that one, from what I understand. There very well may be a factual story there. I just never found it.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, Julie, if you have another one, by all means, message me and let me know what story you heard, because I would love to hear it.
Absolutely.
Also, if anybody has anywhere that they have stories from or evidence that they want to share, I mean, I did mention Royal Wolf Whisperers earlier. Join up, share your stuff. There's no days to share it. Just fire it out.
Hey, share it with everybody. Well, that's what I love about it. Everybody can share their experiences. I just like I don't know if you guys know, I do have a community magazine that I have put together. And I
Nice.
take everybody's stories and experiences and I add it to the magazine. So that everybody can take part in what you guys have experienced and what you're doing. I put that out once a month.
Did you say
And
funny stories?
any story, funny
Any
stories, scary
stories.
stories,
Adrian, shall we go
artwork,
with baby?
everything.
Go ahead,
All you
sir.
do is you write it up and
No,
send it
you tell it better.
in.
Okay, so as far as funny stories go with the group, it's actually two. I'm usually what's going on? So Whistle at Night in the Bridgewater Triangle, Massachusetts can be calling to the Pugwudgies or hide behind, and there's trickster supposedly dangerous. Okay, these are good things to know because we do plan on going all over the place. So okay, so we had gone to Camp 30, which is a World War II POW camp in Bowmanville, Ontario. Now, I was 2.5 floors up actually, because James and Jeffrey were down on the ground floor. I was 2 floors up, plus I was halfway up the ladder into the attic. And all of a sudden, I hear this scream from 2.5 floors down. And right after the scream, the audio spits out "baby." So I get on the radio and I message and I call James. I'm like, "Did you just scare Jeffrey?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, the obvious just called him a baby." Because it was Jeffrey screamed "baby." Like there was no hesitation on that at all. But I think it was James, was it the same night? Did we go from Camp 30 to Century Manor that night?
Oh.
Or was this a separate night? I think it was
No, that was a separate night because that was the night we had that special guest, Mark, join us.
Well, Julie, you're good. No whistling, you're safe.
Yeah, I lost my whistle a few years back.
I mean, I can whistle, but I'm not going to do it right now because it'll probably hurt everybody's ears.
Yeah, don't do the 2-finger thing.
No, I won't do that.
Like that. Yeah, I lost it. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I can do that one.
And I've had my
I'll be
share of
good to go.
whistles from Ashmore, so I'm good.
I mean, I'll be honest. I developed that one so that my kids could hear me without having to go chase them down.
There you
So-
go. Hi, Steve. Welcome.
Oh, Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
Steve,
No, we did not have. No, we didn't have access to Century Manor. We had access to the grounds. However, we were able to get into one of the outbuildings through a very, very small hole. Don't ask me how, because I'm 6'5" and not exactly small.
So they just stuffed you in there.
I stuffed myself in there. Actually,
Oh,
it
you
was
stuffed
actually
yourself.
it was just James and I at that point. So,
What was that?
Oh, the hole in the outbuilding at Century Manor.
Oh God, no! we're not going to get into the hole. There was way too many innuendos there.
Yes, it was. However, what I was about to talk about also happened at Century Manor, which, again, my Oculus, it's very strange. It will either swear at me or make fun of me.
It's a potty mouth. Let's face it. It's got a mouth like a sailor.
It has dropped every 4-letter word possible.
Okay.
So we were walking through, and I'm one of these people that I never tie my boots up. I just walk with them loose 90% of the time.
Right.
I stepped in a snowdrift and got snow in my boot. And then, of course, the only word that came up at that point was proper. I'm like, yeah, I know. If I tied my boots up properly, it wouldn't have happened.
Or if you had your Wonder Bread bags inside the boots,
it wouldn't have happened. See, if I had done things properly.
See, James got it, the reference. This was
oh yeah, he got the reference.
Only old folks understand the Wonder Bread bag. So.
Oh, I know all about the Wonder Bread bags.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, yes, indeed, especially here in Canada.
Yes. Now, the one thing that always fascinates people about us Canadians is our bagged milk. I'm not going to lie. It said Spanish donkey. Wow.
What?
That is odd. Yeah, a very odd one. Yeah.
And it said Spanish donkey. That is bizarre. I
don't know how to take that.
Man, I'm not even talking about Spanish donkeys right now. Okay, we're not going there.
I wonder how the stuff the words they spit out are just unbelievable.
Well, and that was just it. I mean, I've been called every name in the book by mine, including some compound words that I didn't think could possibly be dropped.
Come out of there. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've been called I've been called to see you next Tuesday. I mean, I've been called everything under the sun. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody's in a mood tonight.
Steve, not it. Bugged milk.
Yes, the bagged milk. I was actually on a video chat with Don, David, and Chanel at one point, and Dawn is from Ghost Whispers. She brought up the fact that we Canadians have bagged milk. Both David and Chanel looked absolutely horrified. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
and so they had to see
that.
They had to see it. So, I mean, somebody actually took a screenshot during the chat of the bagged milk.
Yeah, never. I've seen it now where they have it in a box.
Oh yeah, we've got the cartons. We've got the cartons. We've got the jugs, and we have the bags. So
never heard
we've got everything covered.
Down east on the Gaspé Coast, which is as far Quebec as you can go before Newfoundland, they actually still have the milk delivery man in glass bottles.
See, I knew we were going there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this
Love
was
it.
good.
Thank you, Ken. You enjoy your night there, sir.
Yes, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Just guys, remember, I have their link in the description. So if you want to subscribe to these guys, please do. And also remember to hit the like button and share this out so we get the word out. So a lot of people can discover the Wolfpack Paranormal Team of Canada. I'm trying to reach further out, get more guys, and girls from the Canadian side. Help you get your numbers up on YouTube, and also to learn about what you guys are doing over there. It might be a little different than we're doing over here. So it's nice to
Well,
get new teams on and ask the questions.
as Adrian mentioned earlier about the partnership, it is the first time two groups internationally join forces, so that helps big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, when you're doing your investigations, do you prefer a smaller group to a larger group, or vice versa? Or
Personally, I prefer a smaller group just based on the fact that you have less chance of evidence contamination through excess noise.
yes, wonderful, yeah. Yeah, because that's how I prefer it as well. Because
And I know I'm probably
you can
I'm probably a
contaminate
silhouette
yourself.
at this point. Give me 1 second.
Sure. So, as far as your technique and
How would you
There we go. I'm not a silhouette anymore.
okay,
Oh,
your
there you go.
technique and as you're going, obviously you debunk as you go along, but are there certain special things that you guys document and keep track of when you're doing an investigation?
Before we answer that,
No,
Adrian, what do you think about the new background?
little bit of weirdness.
Oh, you moved him around.
Yeah,
He's watching you.
he's always
He's always
watching me.
watching him. He's always watching, whether it's from one spot or another.
Or so sorry, Laura. Sorry to interrupt. What was the question?
When you're doing your investigation, is there certain
Okay.
things that you like to document as you're going along? I'm sure you debunk as you go.
We
What is your process?
not always on video, but we do document everything. We do document everything.
Those two, I'm cool with everything.
James and I run our voice recorders differently.
Oh, yeah.
James runs his throughout the entire investigation.
Continuously.
I tend to do burst sessions.
Mine never goes off.
Yeah, even halfway home.
We've taken to doing. We actually sleep at the locations now, and I leave mine running while we're sleeping because you never know what you might catch. Adrian likes to keep his off. I keep my running. At least there's some type of evidence that's going to be caught at all times, right?
Now, I mean, the one thing I am considering doing is having to bring two and having one running all the time and do burst sessions on the other one. But I don't. My whole concern with that is, I mean, personally, I'm good with just a camera and a voice recorder and my body.
Me too, but I try to incorporate some type of other equipment around as well, especially in locations we've never been before, and some new and exciting challenges that we've had to do at Ashmore. I don't think Adrian was too fond of it, but Adrian,
You're not the one who had to sleep in a straitjacket, dude.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very comfortable.
It really wasn't.
neither was mine. I wasn't in a straitjacket, but I was sleeping on the couch, handcuffed to it. So,
I'm sorry, you were sleeping on a couch.
but I was handcuffed to it. I couldn't move. I couldn't move.
I was on a concrete floor in a straitjacket with no sleeping bag because I gave them to you and Jeffrey.
Well, you know what you could have said. No.
Yeah, but I'm not like that, and you know that.
But we got a lot more difficult challenges coming up that we're going to get into. So, yeah.
Some of us we're not even aware of yet.
No, and some of it's really going to push each one of us to our limits, which is all part of the experience.
Right.
So.
As far as your EVPs, have you found one that was just pretty much just knocked your socks off?
I don't.
other than your whistle that you didn't hear.
I
But
don't
there's
knock my socks off. No, but I approach investigations a lot different than Jeffrey and Adrian.
there's an
I
extra
don't mind provoking to get evidence if that's what it takes.
Okay, so Julie, I have a feeling what you're hearing is actually James's background somewhere.
Yeah, it is. Sorry. Let me switch locations here. I got way too many people in my place.
Tell them to get out.
So, wow, that's actual human people in my place. I got 3 right now, but then I also got I got 3 that are not alive. So, yeah, is that better?
That is better now, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not getting any echo. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm the provoker of the group. I would can't see me. There we go. I'll do anything to get evidence, and I mean that literally.
Right.
Adrian will provoke if it's absolutely necessary. Jeffrey will not. He's not that type.
I tend not to if I don't have to.
And Jeffrey's, I think, just too afraid of what might come across if he does.
He comes off as a very quiet individual.
Sometimes you can't shut him up.
Oh, okay.
You get him going on the equipment, he'll talk for hours.
There you go. Well, that's
but after seeing, well, I think after seeing my attachment, it kind of put him off to provoking, which is understandable. I kind of welcomed it in a weird kind of twisted way. But again, like I want to experience everything, whether it's the attachment of the good, attachment of the bad. I want to experience it all because it's all evidence. It all goes to the channel. It all goes to the cause, right?
So Julie says, do you think it's a good idea to provoke?
No.
James, can I handle that one for just 1 second?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So as far as provoking goes, I mean, if you really think about it, we're already provoking by coming into their space. So, I mean, we're coming into...
Especially if it's a place that's been dormant where not many people have been. They really don't like that to begin with. You're trespassing as far as they're concerned.
Well, I wouldn't, I'm not sure I'd go as far as they don't like, but I mean, it definitely makes them curious. So it's like one of those, huh? And sometimes you'll get the aggravated spirits. I mean, I won't go as far as to say evil or demonic because I mean, those are very, very rare. But I mean, as I say, like, we're already provoking by coming in. So, as James said, I will not do any other provoking unless it's absolutely necessary in order to gain anything. I will try to keep things as respectful as possible because I mean that's what we need to do. We need to respect the people in the
So I see a lot of questions coming up here. So let me clarify. It's not like if we go into a cemetery, I provoke. That's not the case. I never have. As Adrian can attest, I've never provoked at a cemetery. It's more at places that we know have...
I'm a silhouette again.
Okay, so that's kind of creepy that I'm talking about provoking and your light goes off. Okay.
Hey, sorry, it's a motion center. What do you want me to do?
It's more along the lines of places we know have a very dark past and something not so nice there.
Right.
Then yes, I will. Absolutely.
All right. As far as provoking, I mean, what do you do to provoke? What do you?
Demand it to give us evidence, whether it's noise, footsteps, taps, knocks, whispers.
I will agree with that one, Michael.
Or, showing itself in some way. If it takes to, I think only one place, and that was Sidbrook, when I had to go back to take the attachment off of me, did cursing really come into effect. But understandably so, I think, and justifiable. But other than that, like any regular, like the residentials, there was no provoking. Cemeteries, there was no provoking. Century Manor was no provoking. It's only in places where we know has an absolute dark past and something not nice that lives there.
Okay, so Ken's question on any thoughts on the Demon House in Gary, Indiana?
For one, from what we've been told, they do not like it being called the Demon House.
Oh no, you're thinking of Monroe House.
Oh, is that Monroe House? There's so many. Jeez, I can't keep them all straight.
Dude, the Demon House in Gary, Indiana is the one that got torn down by Baggins.
Oh, Zach Bagans.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been torn down. From my understanding, the effects of being there to Zach Bagans is it did mess up his vision, which is why he now has to wear glasses.
Now, my whole understanding, because I did watch the Deliverance. I'm not trying to plug a movie or anything, I swear, but I did watch it. So I mean, I've seen and I know a lot of it was based on truth. Location was obviously changed so that they could actually make that movie. Based on what I saw from that and the fact that the grounds themselves reportedly still have activity, that's a place I don't want to go.
Right.
And I'm more than willing to.
Well, you crazy.
Absolutely. I'm the nutcase of the group.
Okay.
There's nothing I will not do.
The daredevil of the bunch.
Absolutely. And Adrian can attest, I was the first one to say, when we go to Florida, which we haven't determined when that is, I will be the one to get in the devil's chair. Absolutely. Not even hesitate.
So, well, I mean, it's good that you don't have that fear, but I mean, you still should have a little bit because you never know what
Fear.
That's right. Use the caution.
We do. The thing with the devil's chair, the history, apparently you can make any wish, it will come true, but in 7 years, you die. So we've already worked out a plan around that. We're not going to reveal what that is, but yeah, you'll have to wait for the video on that. But we've taken the precautions.
Well, that's
Hopefully.
good. Safety first.
Hopefully,
Hi, Bill.
knock on wood.
Hi, Bill. Welcome. Yes, I'm still in pain. My ice bag has gone warm. So.
Oh, the one thing I'll suggest instead of an ice pack is actually use like a bag of frozen peas or frozen corn.
Well, we ate them, so.
You're going to do that.
Hey, you got to eat, right?
All right. I don't think anybody would want that after it being on my foot, so it's all right. I got another one in the freezer. I'll just have to slap it on after the fact. I mean, if I really wanted to go all out, I got popsicles in there too. We could use one of those.
There you go, in between the toes, right?
That reminds me, I got some in the freezer, so I'm probably gonna have one after this.
What is it the top of your bucket list, you guys? What is the very most place that you've always wanted to go to?
Adrian, stop looking at me. Waverly Hills.
Oh.
Yeah. Number one on the list. Always has been. Always has been. And actually, Ashmore was in top 5 too, so we already knocked that one off.
So is that the same for you, Adrian?
It's a toss-up between that one and Trans-Allegheny, to be honest.
Oh, that's number 2.
That's
And
so
there's other ones there too. The Lifka Axe Murder House, the Sally House, the Whaley House.
There's a house everywhere. I heard Canada has some really great locations.
We got a lot of stuff, but unfortunately up here, they kind of want to charge for a lot of locations, and it's not a low price. And considering we're self-funded,
The other
know?
problem is the fact that provincial government runs a lot of the places that have kind of been shut down, such as Century Manor. So access is impossible.
Yeah, they're
Right.
being bitches.
Well, I'm sure it has a lot to do with insurance issues, because if
A
you
lot
get
of it does have to do with insurance issues when it comes to that, because they don't want to be held liable in case something goes
Exactly.
wrong. And I know
But a lot
that,
of it, a lot of it is safety, and they just won't let you insurance or not. Such as Century Manor, which is built with tunnels underneath. The tunnels have collapsed, causing the main building's first floor to also collapse. So it's just not safe.
one second, I'm still awake.
And trust me, we've tried numerous of times to reach out to them. They just will not allow us in.
So yeah, that's pretty. We do hear a lot of places. We have that issue here as
Oh,
well.
I definitely want. We will definitely have. Waverly is definitely going to be taken care
Oh
of.
yeah.
We will
Oh
definitely
yeah.
get that one.
So there's
And
a lot of videos we'll get to look forward to seeing, guys. So
oh, there will be
Once
a
I
lot
can
of
do
videos that
Waverly,
come
I
through.
can die a happy man.
oh, there you go.
Well, no, wait, hold on, because I also want to get to Australia at some point.
See, this is my whole
Right.
problem with him.
He's just got you bouncing all over the globe.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
he's the social media guy. I'm the researcher guy and the scheduler. So, we all have our expertise, but I leave that up to him with the connections to get the job done.
Oh,
okay,
there you go.
now, so
Sometimes with a short timeline.
Spookfest had mentioned the Lizzie Borden house. That is another one that. Yeah, I
That's a
don't
bed
know.
and breakfast now, right?
Yeah,
I
and
believe
each
so,
room is
yeah.
like $800.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't know
I
when,
mean,
but
what
we
I was
will
saying,
get there.
if you want the whole house, then it's a matter of you pay for both rooms and then you have the whole house. Otherwise, you only have the one room you're in.
Again, we'll get there. Just don't know when.
Walk safely, Ken. Make sure you didn't bring any friends
You
with
shouldn't be on your phone if you're walking, Ken. That's not very safe.
Well, he'll find it out when he walks into something. So
Well, I guess it
I
all
mean-
depends on where Ken is from.
he'll
This is
suddenly
true.
stop. So it's
But,
What's that, Adrian?
What's up?
I said it all depends on where Ken is from, and then you said something.
I was
Where are you
just
from,
going,
Ken?
I was just going through. There's a number of places that we wish to hit. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not we can get through James's list of 2,000 freaking places that he's hit me with.
Hey, it is not 2,000, okay? It's 2,173 in the United States alone.
there you go. So see,
But I'm also providing a list soon of international in
and you
terms
guys
of over the
can win
pond.
the lottery too, because it's the prices keep going up on these places. It's just ridiculous.
He puts his head in his hands, but he's already got something brewing over in the UK. So yeah, that's all him.
That's where I'd love to go.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
I have nothing brewing in the UK right now.
See, there's the little catch right now. Have you guys
Lies. All lies.
had a chance to do any of the tours with Dom? Because
He's like my brother. We fool around like this all the time.
Dom does a lot of tours on his end of Canada. Have you guys had a chance to experience any of those?
I have not. I've been trying to get things set up, but I mean, I work 2 jobs. Jeffrey's also working 2 jobs, and it's a matter of timing. Because I mean, from where we are to where Dom is a 5-hour drive.
Spookfest, I agree with you. We're actually we've been discussing the Queen Mary.
Queen Mary is actually not able to be done anymore.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well,
Surprise.
there you go.
Surprise!
Yeah.
It was on our list, though.
It was. However,
Well,
you
what
can't.
they-
Okay, I guess we're down to 2,172.
Yeah.
What was the last investigation that you guys have done?
Ashmore.
Ashmore was the last one we had done. Just we've had some
Major
scheduling-
scheduling problems.
major scheduling problems with
Right.
the work schedules.
Because we all have different jobs, so we all work different times, different days. Adrian logs way too many hours on top of the paranormal stuff. So, yeah, it's been the three of us
Hey,
in our work
I
schedules. But
multitask, man.
Yeah, Michael says you should go to Lincoln's bedroom. I hear it's haunted.
I'm not
where
so
is
alone,
that
no
exactly?
wonder what.
Well, if he's talking about in the White House, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think
you're
I'm going to get access to that one.
only way you're getting access
you're
to
talking
that
about
is if you break in, and then you're not getting access to anything other than a jail cell.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not getting out after that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Michael, to maybe a Lincoln's own private home, then yeah, I don't know if they actually would allow any of that. See, that's the thing. You've got to do all that research and find out where you can and cannot go, even
Exactly.
if it's famous.
And that's the whole thing. And I mean, sometimes these things change so rapidly as well,
Right.
because it can change owners without anybody really knowing. And then the new owner just said, "Nah, we're not doing this."
Just a heads
Yeah, we're
up.
done. Yeah.
Just a heads up. We're getting our equipment guy coming back in.
Oh, whoo, all right. On a break?
Yeah, he's on a break. Actually, no, I think he's done his work, so he's just kind of lazing around now.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Horror
Jeffrey, where are you?
It was good. She said she went there when they haunted it out for Halloween. So that's
Maybe it's just a Halloween thing then.
Well,
So
I mean,
I did hear where they weren't going to let people film anymore there. So
yeah, they're not letting people film there anymore. And I mean, everybody knows the big drama around the one, and I'm not even getting into that.
But I mean, we got God. That silhouette looks so creepy behind me. Jesus. We got so many other we got so many other places on the list that, yeah, not doing the Queen Mary. It's a shame, but whatever. Oh, Ken is in 90210. Okay.
is hello.
There's the equipment guy. Welcome back, Jeff.
Oh my goodness, he's back.
We missed you. We had a lot of equipment questions.
Yeah, don't make us field the equipment questions, man. Come on.
Right.
Yeah. We don't know that part, man.
Right.
We don't have the research on that stuff. Why you do this like that, brother?
Well, when you got to work, you got to work, right? It's just the way it works.
Yeah, it's what pays us to do the paranormal stuff. So
That's right. That's right.
the problem with being
Not
self-funded.
exactly the least expensive hobby on the planet.
No. Especially equipment, right, Jeff?
No, I know it's an arm and a leg.
We won't get into numbers, but it's not cheap.
What's Friday say? It would take approximately 20.9 years to visit all 2173 places. If you visit 2 each weekend, had to do the math.
Oh, Friday. You don't know how we roll, brother. We are the type that will take a week off and hit as many as a dozen if we have to in one shot.
Right. Well, that's the way it works. So
It will take a while, but we're gonna hit the most important ones first.
Right. As far as doing investigations, do you prefer doing cemeteries or like your bucket list?
For me, no. I'm more a fan of insane asylums, jails, hospitals.
Yeah,
Jeffrey?
I'm more of a I don't know actually. I don't think I
Jeffrey
have
really
a-
doesn't like jails, I don't think, and he's probably not a fan of hospitals.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan.
Jeffrey likes to stay close to the car, so when you guys are screaming, he gets out.
So he can bolt.
No,
You
I
guys
don't
are
have
on
a
your own.
favorite.
I'm out of here.
I don't have a favorite. Honestly, I don't. I just
Actually, we missed out on that, Jeff. She asked us earlier, what is your favorite location that we've done?
Hermitage. for sure.
Okay, go on.
Explain.
And why? And why is it your favorite?
Where is it? What is it?
Okay, I forget exactly where it was. Where is it?
Hamilton.
No,
Hamilton, yes.
Niagara Falls.
Oh, was it Niagara on the Lake or Niagara Falls?
One of the two. I think it's Niagara on the Lake, honestly.
In between
Um,
there and St. Catharines, I believe, right?
Yeah.
It was basically a home that's, I mean, well, what's left of it now, which was what
Two
would,
walls.
yeah, basically. And what year was it that
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Don't
God.
do this
it
to me,
lit
Jeff.
it lit on fire? It lit on fire, right? Is that what it was?
Yes, there was a fire.
Thank you, Adrian.
It was built when, man,
That is so creepy.
my brain's fried, Jeffrey. Like, really?
I don't remember, but it was definitely the place I got the most evidence from the prism. Like that piece of equipment that I was using, I was getting
Right.
answers, like response after response. It was a good place.
That was also a place where we caught an odd ball of light by a tree, and we tried to debug that and could not.
Now, the other thing that happened there was I'm still trying to figure this one out, but it was 26 degrees, and yet we could see our breath.
Yeah. Oh, that was before Jeff joined us. Yeah, we had another member with us and two other crew members, which we had to let go due to showing up intoxicated. But yeah, all five of us could clearly see our breath in 24 degrees weather, I believe it was.
24,
And
26.
yeah,
somewhere in
that's
there.
kind of impossible. So we can't explain that.
Right.
But I mean, that place was built because of the. Oh my God! Hold on a second. My brain is just not working. The
Well, we've done so
similarities.
many locations, man.
Well, I mean, that one was built and lived in because of the similarities between there and I think it was either Ireland or Scotland. I think it was Scotland.
Kind of, it looked like it could be both.
But that's why that one was built there. And the daughter remained in the house long after the lord of the manor, I guess we'll just call him that. Long after he passed, just because of it reminded her of home. So, and then there was a fire. 3 walls still remain standing, but
Yeah, Michael said
Hey,
he
there we go.
researched about the White House. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I didn't think that they would
Even
open
for
it up.
ghost tours. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Michael. Damn, we're back up to 2173.
There you go.
Crap.
Spookfest says that Niagara Falls heard is haunted. I've heard that as well.
Niagara Falls, pretty much the entire area, as well as Kingston, the entire area. Basically, you're walking on bones.
That's what it is. All those fools jumping over the falls in a barrel. That's probably what it is.
Well, I mean, with Kingston, it all had to do with the wars and the settling and
Right.
everything else because of location. So, I mean, there's a park there. They actually call it. I think it's actually called Skeleton Park. And I mean, oh wow.
Did you
They took him out. They
did you
took
guys tell
Adrian
them?
out.
I'm back.
Did
I'm
you
back.
guys tell them? Did you guys tell them about the whole incident with the Paravox?
You mean baby?
Baby, yes, we did.
Oh, yes, that's been brought up.
Yes,
of course,
Baby
that's been
Jeffrey.
brought up.
Yes, baby Jeffrey. We have discussed that already.
Baby G.
See, Jeff, that's what happens when you have to work. You're out of the loop.
But I mean, the whole thing was still.
But he came back.
You can, like, people have actually tripped over bones as the ground actually recedes a little bit. You can
Right.
like, there's enough bodies underneath everything, in pretty much, as I say, like most of Kingston at least, that they're everywhere.
I agree, Friday.
Based on everything.
So, because that's why I was wondering.
Yes, it is Friday.
That's why I had asked if you guys had ever had the chance to take any of the tours with Dom, because He's just a vault of knowledge, and he gives all of that while he's doing the tours for all of these places. So I was just that's why I wondered if you guys ever.
We haven't done tours yet. No.
No, I haven't had a chance, as I say, like we haven't had a chance to find a date that works with everybody to hook up for one of Dom's tours. But I mean, he has offered. It's just a matter of we're trying to we're jumbling schedules. So.
Right, trying to get it all in. Got anybody in the chat have a question for the Wolfpack guys?
By all means,
Today.
nothing's off limits.
Mike Myers back there looking like Seg. Oh,
So what?
I don't know if they know who Seg is. A side-eye guy. Have you ever watched any of his programs? He wears a mask, so it kind of looks.
Oh, Mr. Side Guy up here. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my buddy.
Another guy in the mask, making getting on.
That's it. Sometimes it's good to wear a mask.
Sometimes, well, I can understand the hiding of the identity because, especially if you're part of the debunking community and crew, they get a lot of flack. So
they definitely get a lot of flack.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I do believe myself that they are a very important part of our community because they're pretty
100%.
much paranormal police.
Yep.
So they're gonna let you know who's full of shit and who's not, and
we've already learned some of them.
Yeah, even if you have your own stuff, and they'll come out and say, "Well, hey, dude, do you know this how this works and this works?" And so that you might want to recheck it, rethink it. So they're always keeping everybody pretty much alive and awake
and accountable.
You can't, because you can't take everything for face value.
No.
So that's why they're very, very important, and they get a lot of flack. So yeah, I can see why a few of them, cover up, and the other ones just don't give a shit. So,
well, I mean,
that's us.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. If I'm gonna debunk something, then I'm gonna do it right out in the open. So,
right,
it needs to be told, right? So,
right, it's they do the best that they can, but even though some people take offense. And I get that because you're working hard, but you also got to remember you can't take everything at face value because usually there's an explanation.
Well, the whole thing that I find, I mean, if you have, say, an audio anomaly, then you can't automatically say it's paranormal unless you have gone through every possible option in order to recreate that.
Right.
And even still, it may not be paranormal. It's just something you can't explain. So at that point, it's an anomaly still.
Yes.
And
actually,
a lot of that might come out of the Ashmore video when it goes up.
Right. So yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Thanks, Bill. Actually, Friday House has one of my recordings. He's running it through some extensive testing to let me know for sure what I believe I've picked up at my last cemetery visit, and it's well, I believe it's two individuals, and one of them's a little spooky. So we'll see what his findings are, and then I can post that for everybody to find
All right,
out.
Laura, I'm already intrigued.
Yeah, it's a local cemetery that we have here, which I'm piecing together a bunch of videos and still shots. It's known as the Outdoor Museum.
Okay.
Because it is, there's a lot of famous people buried there. A lot of historic people. And
2,174.
Yeah. Oh, it's called Forest Hill Cemetery. Forest Hill Cemetery in Utica, New York. And you look it up. Even when you go through, it's like a goth-like style gate that you drive through to get in there. And it was established in 1850. And we have a vice president that's buried there. We have people during the Revolutionary War that were very important buried there. Civil War people. You could see some of the shots I do have on my page if you want to look at some of the monuments and the stones. Steel tycoons, because this area was big in industry. A lot of factories, and there was a waterways, the Erie Canal and stuff used to come up through this way, and that's how they would deliver to the factories. So that's how these people made their money. This was a big booming area for that kind of thing. And it's amazing the people that are buried in that cemetery. And I was further in the back part where a lot of the older stones were, and I was doing a video and doing a recording. And at first, everyone's thinking, well, maybe it's me breathing, but I'm talking, and this thing is breathing while I'm speaking. And it sounds like it's underwater, or like somebody with a mouthful of marbles. It's really odd. And you hear it doing it through the whole recording, and then towards the end, you hear something else. And it actually said a sentence.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's the first time I've gotten a sentence. 20 years, one sentence. So remember, guys, it doesn't always work the way you want it to, but yeah.
No, and that's the thing that people really need to look at is, and that's why, regardless of whether or not we have findings or not at a location, we still put it up. Because, I mean, the whole thing is, you can go somewhere 6 times and get nothing. It's not a matter of what you see on a lot of the paranormal shows where they go somewhere and every time they go somewhere, they get something. That's not how it works.
No, the paranormal shows is all Hollywood. So you don't even believe any of that, guys.
Exactly. But I mean, there are people that are just kind of coming into the paranormal community, and that's what led them into it, because of the fact they look at it and they're like, oh, look at all the stuff that I can use, and these guys find something every single time. That's not the way it works.
Right.
We have been informed that there is a group out there that is pretty legit. The stories that they have been told, they've captured every single thing that they've been told.
This is very true. And
Don't want to drop any names, but there is a group out there that is actually very legit, that is well known.
yeah, and actually, just to kind of re-mention that, James, your whistle from Ashmore was actually sent to them to confirm what they caught.
There you go.
So, yeah,
We really don't want to drop any names, but yeah.
No, I understand that.
Even from the owner and caretaker of the place, that we did confirm that they are quite legit.
Right. So that's what it is. It's hard when you're out there and you don't know who's good, who's not, who's real, who's not. And so that's when you have to sit back and do your own research on the group and just follow them and see what they're doing. And because usually you can pick up on who's full of shit and who's not.
Oh, yeah. I follow them often.
Yeah, I follow a few of them too, and it's only.
I'm a huge fan.
It's an entertainment. They make me laugh. When you get burned out from doing this, because I this is every day of the week. I'm doing things for the interviewing you guys and everybody else, and the magazine stuff, and and then I think to myself, what the frig am I doing? I just.
Oh yeah, it's our trips are usually pretty rushed, but yeah, we get her done.
Jeffrey, where did you go?
Jeffrey disappeared. Oh, there he is.
I thought maybe he fell asleep on us. He's so quiet.
I wasn't sure. He looks a little sleepy.
I just thought something took over his phone.
I wasn't
That's
sure.
another thing. Laura, since Sidbrook, we've all kind of had issues with our phones.
So it messed up all of that, huh?
Quite possibly.
Drop calls for no reason. Mine started giving out during a video chat. We lost Jeffrey.
He just ran away from us.
Started giving out like these freaking effects when I didn't even have an effect thing on my phone. So it's quite weird.
So that's the thing, and that's what you got to find out and figure out. And
so there's the question too: can things attach to objects? Yes, they can.
There's a lot of people that don't believe it at all. I'm not convinced because I haven't experienced any of it. There's Jeffrey.
Hey,
Sorry.
Bex, you hit the wrong
You
button,
ain't
didn't you?
You ain't got a
No,
cookie. That's what he did.
I know someone called and then
Oh.
it screws up the audio.
So until I think I experience it myself personally, I'm on the fence because I haven't seen any clear evidence myself that anything can attach itself to something. I could be totally wrong.
And you know what? That is fair. I mean, being on the fence about something is absolutely normal until it's something that you've experienced yourself.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So does anybody have any questions for these guys before we cut them loose and so they can go get some rest?
I mean, skeptics are.
Well,
I'm not
Jeffrey
gonna-
needs rest. Me and Adrian really don't sleep.
Skeptics
You
are,
don't
skeptics are fun. I'm not gonna lie. Skeptics are fun because when
Right.
you
We
actually
would love to bring one on an investigation.
So, well, and I would love to come, to be honest with you, because that's even though you're a skeptic, and I think we all have a level of skepticism.
Well, without giving
Until
anything
it's
away,
proven.
maybe if they subscribe and stay tuned, they just might have that chance.
So there you go.
yeah, not like you're giving anything away there.
Not really. Just a
So,
teaser.
teaser,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I think that everybody has is a little bit of a skeptic until they've experienced it themselves. You see, Friday says, I have never seen objects being haunted, but I have seen haunted people and places. So yes,
Friday, stay tuned for our Ashmore video.
so then we'll see. We'll
So
see what we can
as far
see.
as the haunted objects go, I mean, I know there are several people that have like their haunted museums full of haunted objects. Um, Again, it's something that I personally haven't dealt with. So,
And
do
I
I think
personally want to deal with.
as a skeptic, I'd like to know if you have any new ideas on how to investigate.
Start off with just yourself and a voice recorder
Yep,
and video camera or your phone.
Your phone is actually a really, really good thing to have because I mean that can act as your camera. Just get a voice recorder, and the one thing
Friday.
the one thing I will say is be prepared to sit there for 8 hours talking to yourself.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Friday
Could you
wants
please-
to know, what field of science do you prefer to study to be better to be better at investigating the paranormal?
Jeffrey,
Fields of science.
Would you like
don't know.
that to be elaborated on?
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand what he means by
So-
that.
What do you mean
Jeffrey,
by field of science, Friday?
basically anything that ends in the ology.
Well, yeah, the field, the parapsychology. You have also just your
You have
basic.
demonology, you have your basic psychology, you have
Oh, yeah,
sociology, you have all kinds of things.
That
which
is actually
would help,
something. That is
but I
something I'm
also
actually
think-
looking into.
Right. I also think.
Yeah, Jeffrey, you want to elaborate? You were about to say it. Go ahead.
General
No, I-
science, as far as
I-
how equipment is made and worked and how it's processed.
Oh no, Jeffrey's breaking off into something else that will help us as a pack. Jeff,
I'm actually looking into demonology. That's going to be my
Julie says.
Gynecology. Well, Julie,
no, I don't.
You said anything in the analogy.
I know I said anything in the ology part, but I wasn't necessarily looking at
Depends.
that.
Depends. Is it haunted?
Right. Oh well. Hey, you don't know.
Oh, dude, I'm not going there.
Friday says, well, physics and electronics, which are all fields that everybody should touch on.
Yes, absolutely. Those are definitely three things that should be looked into. It's not forensics. I have not looked into. I do have an interest in that. However, electronics as well as like engineering and stuff like that, because you then learn how to make these things and figure out exactly what components work with what and what is set off by what. So
Right, and understanding just the basic, technology of the unit itself.
how these things are made.
Because anybody could just flip a switch and say, "Oh, but do you know what's making it do that? What is the machine? What is its working component? What is it doing to make it work and bring back what you think it's bringing back?"
What's triggering it exactly
Right, right.
based on each level of that. So what's the
Understanding
debunkers?
the frequencies and stuff
Love
like
it.
that.
Love it. I'd
So-
rather someone come out and say, this is what caused it, not paranormal, than to play it off that it was paranormal. And that's
Right.
what we try to do.
Yeah.
Well, I
Too many
mean,
times I see where they cut the videos, and I'm like, why did they cut there? What are they not showing us?
there you
And
go.
that
The
aggravates me, so.
electromagnetic field and how it's affected by different things,
Right.
including humans, because we mess it up. We can mess it up too just by being there.
Yep.
That's why I was asking, Jeffrey, if that's the kind of testing that you guys are doing on your equipment, just so you know what sets it off, what doesn't, so that you could check that off the list. So then when you are using that equipment, you understand the basics and the technology of the equipment. And like Friday says, the fields that come along with that equipment.
And I mean, the thing is with the equipment too, it's very possible that, like the malfunction. I mean, it's malfunctions will happen with equipment as well, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. Yes, in my experience and from their experience as well, the equipment is very, very accurate and it's very, very helpful, but it can malfunction. It can, break down to, again, we can't even, it's not waterproof, so we can't even bring it outside. There's so many, you're very limited to what you can do with it. And that's why I think you're like, yourself is definitely the biggest piece of equipment you can have, because you can go outside. Doesn't matter whether it's cold or, there's no,
and you can trust yourself more.
yeah, for sure. The equipment is more of like it's more of like a guideline. It's more of like
Right.
it's an assistant, like it helps. But I said, coming from someone who is the equipment guy, I actually really do like the equipment. It's something every time I'm on an investigation, I never not have something in my hands.
So no, it's great. Like I always call it, it's just an experiment. Those are the tools of the experiment. I would not consider it 100% fact. Nobody would. If they do, they're wrong. It's all part of the experiment. Yes, and you're going to collect your data. And then, eventually, because any good scientist, it's all just speculation until there is absolute proof. And we haven't come up with absolute proof yet. Because if we did, we would be famous.
Well, if we did, nobody would be doing this anymore because we'd all have the answers.
Yeah, it would all be done with.
But yes, Friday is right. Aside from the ion counters and Geiger counters, everything uses some part of the EM field. So.
Yes. So that's to have some kind of a background in that is awesome. That's what I'm saying. When you have a lot of the channels, the faker channels, they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They know how to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
And and everything is paranormal to them, and we know it's not the case.
Now, getting back to Julie's gynecology comment there, I'm not sure how that would necessarily work in the field, but
well, like we've kind of weeded out one person like that who
ouch.
I'm not going to mention any names, but everything is a certain thing on all their videos.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those. Well, I think maybe the gynecology thing would, if you're dealing with a female entity, then maybe you could determine whether, it's that time of the month.
Well, well,
If you
I
have
mean,
the background.
I
That
guess
could be scary.
that could be true.
Bill goes, she slimed me. Yeah. Oh, Bill, yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, buddy.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, why are we going there?
Well,
Oh,
yeah, he went there.
well, because you said nothing was off limits.
So, yeah,
I
there you go.
did. I did. I'll take blame.
But the other thing that kind of came to my mind with the
Oh God.
kind of looked into- okay, wait.
Oh my God.
Wow. We opened up a
Wayne,
whole
come
different
on,
can of
man.
worms now.
We're trying to keep this PG, buddy.
Okay,
But,
blame it on Julie.
well, I mean, the other thing based on just based on that, it very, very loosely, please don't go anywhere with that.
No. Ghostbusters reference. I love it.
Anyway, one of those things where a female investigator may get different responses than a male investigator as well, based on the entity themselves, based on like empathetic reasons, based on whether or not it's a child spirit who's searching for some kind of a poltergeist spirit with PMS. All right, that works.
See, Julie explained it. There you go.
Yeah, she kind of has a point with that, I guess.
You never know what you're going to run into. So you could be somebody with
Or
PMS.
have thrown at you.
Just freaking cranky, I got a question here for you, which I've asked a few people. Do you believe that spirits are here for just a certain time period and then they cross over?
I think there's a variable with that. Just based on the fact you have people that say that they can cross spirits over, and I'm not disputing that. But what I am going to say with that is the fact that what event has happened in your history of investigating that you currently have
Friday.
not been able to explain?
Oh boy. I can't explain the light. My first experience. And that was not an investigation, but I can't explain that.
I can't explain how I was seen in two different places.
I can't explain that. Nope.
There you go. But what I was saying with the crossing over part, I mean, yes, I suppose in some cases you can force a spirit to cross over, but again, with these being humans, they also have free will. So it would be a matter of they would have to want to cross over or not.
And sometimes they may be, you know, like let's say, they were living in a house all their lives and they passed away, and then someone new moves in there and then they renovate the whole place. They don't want to leave. They want to, what if they just want to be there? And that's, they're aggravated because, when you change something, they get aggravated, right?
Right.
And makes them not want to leave. So I think like what Adrian said, we can try to get them to cross over, but they have to want to.
It's all in choice. So yeah. So it's that's an interesting answer for that, because I mean some people believe that even though they've been here maybe 200-300 or more years, there's just like a time limit, and then they just being inactive or whatever the circumstance, that they just eventually are not there any longer.
And some just don't want to leave, right? So
Right.
I guess the whole thing is we don't have enough information on that yet.
Right.
To actually give an accurate and honest opinion with that. Like, I mean, my honest opinion is, I mean, it would depend on the spirit. But, I mean, for something to be crossed over without their will. Oh, what do we got here from Ken? Have you heard of the Churchill Mansion in Yarmouth County, Nova Scotia? I have not. But I'm
add it to the list.
I have, but I don't have enough research on it
yet.
Yet. 2,175.
See, there you go. Julie says, are you sure what you are dealing with are human spirits and not an entity of different makings?
Can neither confirm or deny.
Wow. That's a pretty loaded question, really.
It is.
With some of them, we can pretty much.
Not all are human.
Not all are human, and not all are entities of different makings. So, I mean, there's a combination that we're going to come across. So, and it's going to be a matter of how we handle each one of those situations based on what we're dealing with.
Well, and I think most of the time you can tell if it's something that's human and demonic. I think it's pretty.
Not always, though.
Well, not always, but in some cases you can.
As most shows and research has shown, demonic entities will often take the form of a child, a human child spirit. So there you go. There's a mix.
Good answer. Good answer. Wayne wants to know, have you ever been to an investigation that you were looking forward to and then regretted it afterwards?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Jeffrey, explain.
Okay.
I was not expecting that from Jeffrey.
Sidbrook, because I just felt like ever since we went in there and we left, everything started acting weird with our, like, even with my phone. Like, it just, I've never had an issue where I was always getting dropped calls, and ever since then, and I just got a new phone, right? And it keeps happening, and I've even called my provider, and they said nothing's wrong with the network. And even our equipment, it was after then that our equipment also started going a little weird too. So I never understood that.
How much of that answer, Jeff, involves the attachment?
Probably. But again, it still happened afterwards, right? Again, we're still having that issue.
Okay, but how much, like percentage-wise, would you say that's due to the attachment?
Probably like 80%.
They both saw it. They both saw the difference in me. So
Right.
So my answer to Wayne's question on a personal level, no. If I'm
we don't regret anything, any place we've been. Same as we, even if we do not get evidence, we still post the location, other than residential.
Yeah, I mean, I may have regretted Sidbrook, but I still enjoyed going there. It was just, I felt like everything started happening weirdly after that. After we went there, things just started. Yeah.
It was changed. It was different.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey, if I suggest going back to Sidbrook, your answer would be no?
My answer is hell yeah.
I
I'll be
would
out in
go
the car.
back, but I'm just, I'd be more weary of.
We'd take more precautions,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, just checking, because I mean, if it was one you were looking forward to and regretted, I just figured I would ask if we could get back there. Would you want to go back, or would it be one that you'd be like, nah?
Adrian, you don't ask a question like that unless there's already something brewing.
Surprise.
That smile says it all. That SHIT grin says it all.
Surprise,
Oh,
guys.
leave me alone with my shit-eating grin.
Now, what do you do to protect yourselves?
We don't always, but we've tried to at least tell it cannot attach, it cannot follow any of us, it must stay there. We're gonna try to get into saying a prayer before we leave the location, but
And upon arrival.
and upon arrival that nothing does attach. That did not happen at Sidbrook, unfortunately, and maybe that was a reason why.
Oh, did we just pass the 2-hour mark? Is that what that ding was?
Oh, we passed that 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm just checking. If somebody's dinging,
We
I
got
don't know
all
who
night.
it is.
Well, I got all night.
Yeah, no, that wasn't on my end. So,
Jeffrey, are you dinging?
No.
Okay, that didn't sound right.
Hey, I'm not going there either. All right.
so has anybody got any other questions that you'd like to shoot at the guys? You guys have been coming up with some great questions.
Absolutely, some real tough ones.
That's actually one thing that I'm actually very thankful for is your viewers have had some fantastic questions for us.
And actually, you're one of the few podcasters that have actually allowed a Q&A. So I'm grateful for
Oh,
that.
well, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Well, see, that's like I said, the whole show is about is the information education, because I find it to be very, very important. As far as you guys, when you do your investigations, what kind of research do you do for where you go? James?
That's my area of expertise. I spend many a late nights going through multiple websites. Yeah, countless. And I just take as much information as I possibly can. And then I kind of try to figure out, I take the most what websites post the most reoccurring activity and history, and I put that into my package for the guys.
Now, James, I know you're aware of this, but I will actually I say it as well. I do kind of help with the research in one regard. I will contact other groups that have been there
That's true.
and see what they have experienced and
As our contact guy.
what we should be looking for, things like that. Like one group that I actually contact quite often when it comes to that because their researcher and founder is fantastic is Anti-Atom Paranormal Society.
When you're doing your research, part of your research is are you doing the whole history, not just of the building itself, but as the grounds as well?
Absolutely, along with the activity that's been known to happen.
And the history of what's gone on those grounds long beforehand as well.
Right.
That's from a Wolfpack standpoint. From the collaboration with our partnership, we also have someone on that side that is the researcher as well, and I deal with them.
And they have a fantastic resource.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
But I mean, my whole reason for contacting other groups that have been to these locations, building ground, even in the neighborhood. Yep, absolutely. Like everywhere in the entire location needs to be looked at because there are transient spirits that go from one spot to another. So
absolutely, and just because it might not have happened on that specific ground doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I'll take my pet goldfish for a walk. Good night.
Good night, Wayne. Make sure you put a leash on that goldfish.
Just make sure you put a lid on the bowl.
Yeah.
Don't put it too close to the lights.
Nah, I cooked the little bugger.
And watch out for hawks. That's
That's it. Well, if you're taking a goldfish for a walk, there's a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Well, hey, Wayne is a unique individual. That's all.
Hey, it's all good.
We love Wayne and Friday and all the others. But no, we actually have a location coming up. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adrian, where they asked me my opinion. I'm like, I want to go in raw. I want to know nothing of the history or the activity. I want to experience it firsthand myself.
Would that be our end of September one?
Yes, actually. Okay. I don't know if Jeffrey and it. Were you working for Jeffrey? Oh my God! Because I said I want to go in raw. Okay,
guys, come on.
Jesus. I don't know.
Well, that's why I do it that way, guys. That's hence the name, Raw Paranormal.
There you go. I don't know how Adrian and Jeffrey feel about it, but yeah, I definitely want to go in without knowledge of the locations.
Right.
Specifically because it is a jail, which is one of my personal favorites. Yeah.
Right. All right. Yeah, because like I said, I would
Go
and
ahead, Rob.
I do regular general history about, yes, the building and the grounds, but I don't want to know the haunted history because then it taints the investigation.
Exactly.
I don't want to know either. Because sometimes the activity is strictly from the grounds.
Right. And once you hear a story, then that's what you're going to be looking for.
And we enjoyed you
story.
Friday.
Thank you very
So
much
it's,
for your questions and your information, especially
so
your mapping for being 20 years down the road by the time we finish this up.
Well, he helped it out, a little bit. So
If we can help it, it won't take that long, buddy.
right.
Well,
As
isn't
far
always
as-
good.
Yeah, she said it's always good. And well, as
Oh
far as
my
what I'm saying
God.
really is, as far as nobody wants to know the haunted history, most people don't, because I think it does contaminate your own investigation.
It's true.
But you're right,
Because
raw
then
isn't
you're-
always good.
in multiple ways.
Oh my God. Okay, we got to get off the raw is always a good thing. Yeah.
She said it
Any
isn't
other
always good. Jesus, man.
Yeah, that's what it is, guys. I think that once we heard, well, again, when you go to all the places where they do the tours, then they give you the haunted history. I personally don't want to know that. I want to make my own determination. But as far as just, basic history of the building and the grounds,
For me, it depends on the location. I might want to know everything. I might want to know nothing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So
well, it all depends.
I mean, knowing about the building, I have a shark that, well,
I don't exactly know what that means.
Well, because Wayne was taking out his goldfish, so Dom's taking out his shark.
oh,
What about the
Dom,
piranha? Dom, you got a piranha.
well, there you go. You can
Oh,
take
Jesus.
the piranha.
You put that bad boy on a leash. Let's see how far that goes.
I'm not,
Oh, wait, is it?
I could touch that, but I'm not going to.
I might have Dom confused with Jimmy. One of you guys have the piranha. I forgot which one it was. So everybody's taking their fish for a walk. Holy crap!
apparently, everyone's
I'm not
going.
touching that. Well,
I know. So, yeah, he was the one who had the piranha.
if we're getting into exotic things, not to get off the paranormal stuff, Jeffrey.
All right.
What?
If we're getting into exotic things, off the paranormal topic for a second, Jeffrey,
Oh boy.
what do you have?
Tarantulas.
How many?
47.
What you have?
Oh, I have 2 centipedes and 2 scorpions.
And no,
Great.
he doesn't take them for a walk.
Oh God! No,
Yeah,
not for
right?
me.
Right?
Why?
They're
I'm
cute.
allergic to spiders, and I just don't like them.
They're so cute. I love them. They're so
Oh
furry.
my
They
God.
stay outside.
Look.
They're safe. They crush the threshold at my house. They get the shoe.
Right?
Yeah, but dude, you don't just have the tarantulas. Don't you have something else?
Yeah, he said scorpions and centipedes.
No,
God.
like I'm
What?
talking like it might be part of the tarantula family. I don't know, but like
Bill.
the gigantic beasties that you have.
Oh, he's talking about your 3 larger ones, Jeff.
Oh, the bird eaters. Yeah, they're about 13 inches in leg span.
Right, Laura? Right? Your face says it all, Laura.
Yeah,
Your face is what my
exactly.
face was when I heard it. No, don't you have
Okay.
one that reaches 15 inches in diameter?
The size of a dinner plate. So,
Yeah,
like,
it's a Goliath.
Uh-huh.
Goliath, the big Goliath bird eater.
And what species do you want next?
I don't know.
The real big ass ones? What are they?
I have those. Those are the ones
No,
I
like
have.
the really big ones. Like the mini dog size ones.
Seriously, the shark jumps out of the tank and walks the roof. How do you get it back?
That's a little disturbing.
How do you get it back in the tank?
That could be
You got it in next
paranormal.
to your bed.
Just don't put the tank anywhere around you while you're sleeping.
You sleep in
Right?
it. I know, really.
I hope
You
the
sleep
tank's
in a
not around your bed. Jesus.
Slept in the face with a fish. Julie says that's gross. Jeff, sorry.
Oh my. Oh,
Everybody's got their thing, guys.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah, they're outside. That's their domain. When they come into the house, they're history. Sorry.
He's got his pretty well locked up.
Pretty well
There's-
locked up, but nothing is a
No
guarantee.
way.
And nothing was. Right, Jeff?
No.
So I had a friend of mine who had a tarantula, and it was all covered up and locked up. It got out. They didn't find it until like months later. It was still in the room.
Jeffrey too. One of his got out one time.
No, that was
How the
because
hell did you
it
sleep
was
there?
it was a baby. It was just no. I think one of the
Oh,
lids
it's a baby. It was only like 6 inches. A baby.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just a little bug.
I see that.
Sorry,
I
Jeffrey.
have a heart
It's
attack.
wonderful that you have a hobby.
I'm more a dog, cat, snake, and lizard guy.
Well, I mean, I had.
There you go. That's
what
it.
he got.
That's what he
already
wants.
had one.
Yeah, the huntsman spot. Yeah, I wanted one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the really big ass ones. Thank you for that.
I thought you already had one of those.
Like you see him, you
No.
come home, you live in Australia, you come home and it's in your house.
I think they're illegal here, right, Jeff? That's why you don't have one?
What? What?
What do you mean, what?
Yeah.
What? What are you saying? Sorry.
The
Is
huntsman
the huntsman
spiders. Can you
spider
have them
illegal
here?
here?
No, they're legal. Yeah, just not funnel web spiders are illegal.
Ugh.
Well, that's good. They can stay wherever
I don't like
they are.
anything more than 4 legs. Thanks.
Gonna go puke now.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not true. That's not true.
Bill
Do it
says,
because I do like
"Nah,
scorpions.
it's all right."
Well, I mean, I had a friend who had a 6-foot iguana that she'd walk around with.
Love it. Love it.
It would sit
Those
on
are-
her shoulder.
Love it. 12 foot long python. Yeah, I'd go for that.
Yeah, no, this was a 6-foot long iguana that would sit on her shoulder, and the tail would be like right down her back. I'm like,
Nice.
what the hell is that?
No,
I
thank
mean,
you.
I walked up, I was walking up, and I see this big long thing hanging off her shoulder. I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh my
Poor
God.
Laura's like, how did we get off paranormal?
No. And you know,
We'll talk about anything, really.
The python isn't cute until it tries to eat you.
Which was a story, actually, I think in Nova Scotia, where a
I'll
woman
stick to
woke
my
up
dog.
3 nights in a row with her
I'll
pet
stick with the dog.
python
Yeah, thank you,
stretched out
Julie. I
beside
agree.
her. So
Yeah,
she went
I
to the-
actually know somebody that had a python and he woke up with it on his head. It was trying
Well,
to
no,
eat him.
that's what stretched
Oh,
out
no, thank
beside
you.
her. So she went to the vet and asked him, and the vet told her flat out, yeah, it's measuring you to see if you'll fit inside it.
And his roommate come home, and the only way they could get the snake off the guy's head, they had to cut the head off.
Oh,
Here's
the
the
snake or the guy?
The snake was the snake's
Okay.
head. He
I
couldn't get it
I
off
just
him.
have to confirm that.
I'm thinking,
just making
yeah.
sure. Because, I mean,
Right?
beheading some guy, no.
Yeah, no,
We
they had
were-
to cut the snake in half to get it off him because they couldn't get it off.
Oh, the poor snake.
I'm
Oh,
thinking,
damn.
oh yeah, great pet.
Yeah.
He sounds worried
I
about
would have
Fido
one.
trying to
Especially when you
swallow
lose,
me whole.
especially when you lose it in the house and then you move.
Ugh,
I don't think you can
Nah.
really lose a 6-foot python.
Want
no.
to bet?
Well, yeah, it's true. Yeah, if it finds a place, it'll go. And
Underneath,
it'll show up when you're
underneath the
sleeping.
fridge.
I'm not touching that.
I'll tell you right now, underneath the fridge,
Bill.
Oh, what's he
that
saying?
friend's
here?
girlfriend looks like a troll. Is that exotic? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What have you done?
Does he put put the girl between his hands and go like this, so her hair goes like that?
Oh, Jesus.
I know someone that looks like Skeletor, so
You,
Oh,
you
I
yeah.
guess
get
anything's possible.
ouch.
She does. Jeffrey seen her.
You lost your snake.
Jeez.
No, it wasn't. I didn't lose the snake.
I never lose my snake.
Oh, good God.
That's good. Always keep track of where your snake is.
Yeah, it's very important.
Because she lives
This
in a
took
tree.
an awful turn.
She lives in a tree and makes cookies. Oh, good.
You're,
Oh,
you're
my
gonna have to
God.
put a warning on before replaying this.
Oh, believe me, I've heard worse in other shows. Don't worry.
Oh, my
You
God.
enter here, it says your own risk.
This is way to pack rules. We like to have fun no matter what.
If it gets
But
too,
no, as
too
far as
out of hand,
the
then
whole
everybody gets
snake
kicked out.
under, as far as
What
the
was that,
snake
Laura?
I says if it gets too out of hand, then that's when everybody gets kicked out.
Oh, okay. Just give us a warning before you do, please.
That's
No,
I will.
as far as the snake under the fridge, that was my brother. He lost a snake in the house and then moved out.
Hey, I don't blame him.
Without finding it?
Without
That's kind of
finding it,
disturbing.
he came back at Christmas, found it under the fridge, alive.
Yeah, they'll last a long time.
Well, I
Yeah,
guess that's where mice would go.
Yeah.
Well, the
I was
problem
just saying, a
was,
friend of mine with the spider disappeared. They didn't find it like 4 or 5 months later.
Oh, hell no. I'd be moving out.
Oh,
Moving out on the spot.
It didn't leave the room. He found it in the corner.
I
So
don't care. If I can't
it's just
see it,
gonna
I'm
wander
gone.
around, I
the
guess.
spider now
But
owns the house. I'm done.
the thing with tarantulas, they sometimes they move like once a week, once every 2 months. Like they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
move very often.
Explains
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. They move once a week, but watch one eat. It's like a split second.
I
No, thank
understand
you.
that, but they don't
No,
move
no, no,
very
no, no, no,
much.
no, no,
They're
no, no.
very
If I
slow
know there's a
moving.
spider and I cannot see it, I am out. Hell no.
My problem is if I can't kill it, then I won't leave the house until I know it's dead. So
Well, my
if
mom,
you leave
well,
and come back, you don't know where it is.
my
Right?
mom like ran out of the house when I first brought them. And
Oh, I
then
can believe that.
I don't blame her.
I would have said you could take him right back where you got him from.
Nah, she's actually been pretty supportive of it.
It's not like bringing home a puppy.
Nope.
Don't get him started on that because he would own ones that are as big as a puppy.
I
It's,
would.
otherwise,
I
I move
would.
you out to the garage.
Oh no, no,
I'd buy- if
he
they were
would
as
he
big-
would
if
caress
they were
it
as
and love
big as
it and care it.
dogs, if they
Oh,
were as
ooh.
big as
God, you're-
dogs, I would. If they were as big as a dog, I would own one. I would like it.
No, it would
That's
eat
the-
you.
No.
This is wrong, Jeff.
Jeff needs to go to Australia. They have all the big bugs
This
there.
is why I've never been to Jeffrey's
See?
house.
This is what, yes, Jeffrey needs to go to Australia. All the big bugs are there. Have fun.
I know that's that.
All
Oh,
the
I would
big
be
ones.
there all the time. I'd be trying to
Okay.
look at funnel webs.
Going through the list. Let's take Australia off the list.
There, you're not going to
Laura
Australia.
broke her toe by stepping on a tarantula.
What? Laura broke.
I broke my toe by stepping
Probably.
on a tarantula.
Maybe it was as big as a dog.
Well,
I
maybe
know
she
it.
saw the tarantula, turned, and
Well, it
actually
was
took the
about
fire
this
safe.
big.
Jesus.
I'm thinking
No,
maybe she
thank
saw the
you.
spider turn and kick the fire safe accidentally.
That's what it was. I was trying to kill it, yeah, and I kicked the fire safe, and holy shit.
Well, it was either that or you tried to drop the fire safe on the spider and you missed and hit your toe.
So you used to investigate, right, Laura?
Still there.
Yes, but I do still not as much because I'm disabled, so I only can go a certain distance.
Well, especially now with the broken toe.
So with the busted toe, now I ain't even gonna make it outside. So
Okay, so now question for you. What's your
Sure.
favorite location?
oh geez, my favorite location. Think on this for a minute. I would actually have to say the cemetery.
The one you mentioned or a different one?
The one I mentioned, yeah, the one I mentioned.
Wow.
I think it's my favorite because of the history, and I feel an attachment to the place.
I can
mainly-
understand that.
Yeah, it's just the even when I'm not on an investigation, because the cemetery has 3 ponds in it,
Nice.
and it's just loaded with trees that are got to be over 300-400 years old. Who knows, even older. And it's nice because we'll go there. A lot of people do this. We go there. We go sit up by one of the ponds and have our coffee and watch the deer come through. So I get a lot of, deer photographs and wildlife photographs while we're there. And it's just a very calming, restful
Peaceful
place.
place.
So it's I mean, people go there and they'll sit and have picnics by the pond.
Oh, nice.
So it's very relaxing. So you can gather your thoughts, and then it's great because of the history. And like I said,
Sounds like a place we would love to do.
oh, it's fantastic. It really is. And the thing that blows my mind, and like I said, I have some pictures posted. The monuments are incredible.
Oh, I
And I
bet.
always wonder how the hell did they get them in there and up the hills in the 1800s? I mean, one of the monuments is like the size of a building.
Oh wow.
So, and you figure
Jesus.
you're pulling this up horse and buggy. So it had to be done in sections. And then they just
Or
pieced
horse.
it together.
Or
It
horse,
truly is
yeah.
amazing.
Horse and buggy, baby.
Yeah, that's the only way they could get it in there.
Yep.
But yeah, the mausoleums and stuff are all huge and just
You two
very,
are horrible, by the way.
Sorry.
very, just very detailed. And because that's what we used to do. My husband and I would drive through, and we would write down the names and the dates and stuff, and then I would look them all up. And then that's when I started finding out the history, and I'm thinking, wow, there's some really famous people here. So yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Well, I mean, I can understand that based on the history and also the fact that it just sounds like a very calm, peaceful place as well. So,
And
Yeah.
all three of us loves nature, so yeah.
Actually, I
Going
just
on
took
the
a picture
list.
the other day, 8-point buck the other day up at the cemetery.
Wow.
So, well, they know it's safe up there.
That's
you're not going to
quite
have somebody
large.
hunting in a cemetery.
That's why they know it's safe. And then they get the buffets out all the time. All those flowers.
Well, exactly.
That's a pretty large one, though. Holy
Yeah,
geez.
8-pointer, and he was there. Yeah, with a female and 2 babies.
Oh, nice.
That's what I saw, Adrian, like a week ago. We could have to go down the ravine under the Lawrence Bridge. A mama
He's
and
one of
2
the
baby
biggest
deer.
ones that we've seen there. The one was last year. We seen a 10-pointer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And actually, and he walked up to my husband.
Oh, wow.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
I would just be concerned about the antlers at that point.
Well, you know what? I think it's because he just wasn't used to being around people, so he was probably curious, saying like, "What the hell is that thing?"
Yeah. What's this thing walking on 2 legs?
Right. So yeah, that was pretty amazing. So it's
I've actually seen a moose like close up, but I was scared. to,
oh,
like,
fantastic.
Some
But-
of them can be, oh man. Some of them
They're
are as
mean.
tall as me.
They're mean though. I've seen them go after cars.
Yeah, they're some.
I didn't realize they can damage a car until I.
Oh
Dude, they can destroy a car.
yeah.
One kick from them, you
I
won't
seen
need to
there was a video
worry about
online
feeling
that,
it.
people were on the highway, and there was one on the highway, and this woman was trying to drive by, and it wouldn't let her by. It
Nope.
kept chasing her down and slamming into her car, and she finally got away from it. But yeah, it wouldn't let her go. I'm thinking, oh my god.
Oh yeah, they
Are, but they're
Probably
very,
a baby nearby.
beautiful. They're very beautiful.
Oh,
they're very beautiful.
oh, they're
animals.
gorgeous animals. Gorgeous.
I
We got
only
quite a
seen
few of
one
them up here in
once.
Canada.
Here, oh yeah, I see one once here. We were at camp up on the mountain. Sixth Lake is where we used to go, and I was a kid, and we were all on the beach, and my father pointed at it. He goes, "Look," and all you see is this head bobbing in the water, and it was a moose, full huge rack on it. I'm thinking, "Oh my god, that's incredible!" And my father goes, "Oh, it's walking," and I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, sure." No,
Hey,
until I
Jay, don't
realized
go
how
there.
tall they are. It was walking.
I'm not saying a
Adrian-
word.
Adrian heard huge rack and just a smile
Huge
on his
rack.
face.
Yes, Bill. Actually, no, Bill. George doesn't hunt anymore because we don't go to Missouri anymore. So we enjoy it and get our venison off of friends that want to hand some stuff out. You have a great night too, Julie. Thanks for joining us.
Good night,
And
Julie.
Michael has seen a mountain lion close up.
You are
Pants.
You're a brave man.
yeah, you and very
And a
lucky
lucky
at
one
that.
at that.
I hope you bought a lottery ticket that day, because that's unusual.
Yeah, it is, because we have them here and you don't see them.
And if you do, you don't live to tell.
That's right. But they tell everybody, if you're hiking or whatever, stay on the trail. Don't get off the trail.
Yeah,
Nope.
don't get off the trail.
Nope.
My husband came face to face with a bear.
My father did that because he's a bit of a bonehead and decided he was going to chase a baby bear in because he wanted a picture, and he came flying back out. He ran it. He ran in the bomb.
Brown bear
Yeah,
or black bear?
Black bear. That's why he was lucky.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with black bears.
Well, no, he was fine with the black bear. If it was a brown bear, he was toasted.
Yeah, you got to be careful with black bears.
Yeah, my husband face to face with a black bear, and then he got chased by a mama black bear one year.
Yeah,
always run downhill.
That's what happened. That's what happened to my father. He ran after the baby bear, thinking he was going to get a picture. Came running back out real quick.
Run downhill.
That's what he did. That's what he did. Thanks for joining us Friday. It was a pleasure. Yeah, he forgot that there was a den there, and he went hunting by himself. Full hunting gear, had his bow, and then he's standing there, and all of a sudden he hears a snorting noise in the bush behind him. He's like, "Oh shit!" And he never ran so fast in his life back to the truck. And
I can believe it.
She chased him, but that's what stopped, because he went downhill, and she ended up stopping.
Yeah, they're not so good going downhill.
No, they end up rolling. That's the only advantage.
I mean, it'd be real fun to watch, but
yeah. Oh yeah, he said he never moved so quick in his life. Or I proceeded to bitch about it. I said, for one, you went by yourself. You didn't tell anybody where you're going. I says, and then you forget that she has cubs up there. What were you thinking? He goes, I know.
Apparently he wasn't.
So exactly. I have a stalker in the room. Okay, guys, what we're gonna do is let you get going. I really enjoyed the show, and I'm glad you all could join us. Thanks, everybody in chat. You come out with some really great questions.
Well, thank you very much, Laura. This was a blast.
Absolutely,
I'm glad you had a
loved
good
it.
time. And you guys, if you want, please remember to sub. Their link for their YouTube channel is in the description, and you can also find them on Facebook. Where else, guys? Twitter
Instagram
too?
and
Instagram?
TikTok and Instagram.
Okay, TikTok and Instagram, guys. They are out there. Check them out. You're going to be having some new. When's your next video coming out?
It's a very good question. I still have I've got a backlog at this
Can I
point,
catch you?
so I've got to catch up.
I caught him out there, guys. It'll be out as soon as he's done. And we look forward to seeing all of your new adventures, guys. And as always, everybody, thanks for joining us all on the Raw side. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.